Hi everyone. Today Salesforce Development Day 33. Let's see what are we going to learn today. So today's agenda is previous session overview. We'll quickly go through the what did we learn in previous session, and then we'll talk about one of the use case, and we'll talk about custom settings, how to use a custom settings. Then we see navigation steps to create a custom setting, and what is the differences between the custom setting and custom objects. And what is the lead conversion process? How can we do that? And today's interview questions. Now quickly, what did we learn in last session?
Use cases for triggers.
Yeah, so last session we were discussing about the different scenarios of triggers. Now we'll continue the triggers today also with the different scenarios. Now the use case is implement a trigger on candidate object to display the region name based on the region manager name. So I need to display the region manager name based on the region name. It's in the reverse. So I need to display the region manager name based on the region name. So this is the requirement. This is the requirement. Whenever I'm creating or updating, the region manager name should be updated based on the region name. That means on the candidate object, there are two fields. If you do not have any fields, then we have to create it. So let's go to the Salesforce, Sales Cloud. We have an object called candidate object. So this is the candidate object. In the candidate object, now click on a new. We do not have region or region name. So what I'll do is, I'll create a quickly. Instead of a candidate, let me see, is there any other object? Okay, I'll take the customer's object. In the customer object, when we click on the new, we need to create a two fields on the customer object. So let's go ahead and create that edit object. And in the customer object, let's create a one field, which is a region name. That's a pick list. It's a pick list. Let's create a pick list. Click on next. Region name. And the values are ACS, America. And then let's create a Europe, China, Japan, Middle East, Australia. Like this, there are some values out there. Like this, there are some values are there. And click on a next. And click on next. Save. This is the region name. And let me create another field which is called as a region manager name. That's a text field. Click on next. Region manager name. Now here length, let's give it as a 255 characters. Now click on next. And click on next and save. Now if I come back to the customer object, in the customer object, what I need a trigger is whenever I'm choosing here, why it is not displaying? Whenever I'm choosing, for example, I'm entering some data here. I'm entering the customer name is Paul, and the region name is, if I select this pick list, that means if I select a Asia, it should be a different manager. Let's assume that whenever I select a Asia, the manager is Akash, right? If I select a Americas, then manager should be a Bharati. So like this region name should be auto-populated whenever I select it, whenever I select any of the name. So Asia, one manager, Americas, another manager. That means each region will have a separate manager. Each region will have a separate manager. That means, let me go to the notepad. Now here we have a region name. And the region manager. Now region names there are different region names are there, Asia, Americas, Europe, China, Japan, Middle East, Australia. Now for each one of them, we have a manager. So for Asia, let's assume that Akash, and similarly for Americas, Bharati, and Europe, Jyoti, and China, Madhumohan, and Japan, Rajkumar, and Middle East, Sri Lakshmi, and Australia, we have Naresh. So this is the manager list and this is the region name. So if I choose a Asia pick list value, then automatically manager has to be displayed. If I choose a Americas, this manager has to be displayed. If I choose a Europe, this person has to be displayed. If I select a China, that is the person has to be displayed. If it is a Japan, this, and if it is a Middle East, Sri Lakshmi, if it is a Australia, Naresh. Like this, the data has to be displayed. Now what I'll do is I'll implement a trigger on this. Let's open up the developer console. File, new trigger. I'm creating a trigger on customer object. Let's take a customer trigger. And object is customer. Click on submit. Now, this is before insert and before update. Before insert, before update. Now here, I'm going to check the trigger context. If trigger dot is insert or is before, and trigger dot is before and trigger dot is insert or trigger dot is update. Trigger dot is update. Customer. Now I'm going to loop through the each record. So our object name is customer __ C. Now I'll say CT colon. I'm going to loop through the trigger dot new. Which one will I use it? Trigger dot new or trigger dot old?
Trigger dot new.
Trigger dot new. Now here, the first thing I need to check here, if I need to fulfill this, I need to check whether there is a value in this region name. Whether there is there a value in this name. If there is a value, check what is the value of this. Based on that, assign the person. And what I'll do is if CT dot region name equal to Asia's, then CT dot region name, region manager name equal to Akash. Now like this, I'll set it up for all other things. So else, if condition, this time it is a Americas. If it is a Americas and Bharati, and else and the third one is Europe. If it is a Europe, Jyoti. Now similarly, we have a next one, China. If it is a China, Madhumohan. And next else condition, Japan. If it is a Japan, then it's a Rajkumar. Else, Middle East. And if it is a Middle East, Sri Lakshmi. And the last one is Australia. If it is a Australia, Naresh. This is the data. This is the data. Now I have the data that is implemented and this is the logic. Let's click on a save. Now let's check it. Now click on a new. Now I'm entering the data here. Customer name is Peter. And the region name I'm selecting as a Americas and clicking on a save button. For Americas, it's a Bharati, right? For Americas, it's a Bharati. And similarly, if I update it also, it should be changed. Now, if I select a Japan, then it should be a Rajkumar. So the data is getting updated clearly. Now, we have implemented trigger on the customer object. Now, same scenario, let's take it. Now, what we are doing here is I'm checking the region name and then I'm updating the region manager name. Now, what I'm doing here, I'm doing the hard coding. The first issue is I'm doing the hard code here, where I should not be doing the hard code. That's the problem. Second thing is, today we have a region right? So today we have 7 regions. Today we have 7 regions. Now tomorrow it might increase this. Tomorrow it might add few more details in the pick list value. Tomorrow, few more pick list values gets updated or added. Now, whenever we keep on adding the pick list value, the logic is keep on increasing it. That's the second issue. So there are 2 issues are there. One issue is if I write a code like this, one issue is where I'm doing the hard coding, checking the hard coding value, right? And updating the hard coded value. Second issue is it's not good way to keep this, because tomorrow if client comes back and adds the 10 regions, then I need to keep on modifying my code. Then I need to keep on modifying my code. So which is not a right, which is not a right. Now let's take a same scenario. Let me copy this. Let's go to the paint. Now we have here region name and region manager. Region name and region manager. This is a map table. This is a map table. Right? This is a map table. Now here 2 columns are there. One is a region, another one is a region manager. Now this time I have a UI. The left side I have a UI where it is saying that customer name, and the region name, and we have a region manager name. Region manager name. Now user is entering all these details. All these details user is entering it. Now whenever the user enters the customer name, and then they will pick up the value from pick list field. They will pick up the value from pick list field, which is a region name. So what are the region names that I have here? Region names are, so we have a multiple region names: Asia, Americas, Europe, Middle East, China, Australia, Japan. Now these are the values. Whenever user click on this pick list values, they are able to see this. They are able to see these details. Now, region name and the region manager is sitting in the same object. Now, we know that there are 2 problems are there. 2 problems are, one is hard-coded value, another one is whenever there is a value is added here, tomorrow is they are going to add a region US or UAE. So they are going to add these details. Now, in that case, I need to update my program. Now, for these 2 issues, what could be the solution? What are your thoughts? How can I ignore the hard-coded value? How can I ignore the modifying the code? Every time whenever there is a value added in the pick list field, how can I ignore it? Touching the code.
If you have some region name and region manager name in one table, we can do through the SOQL query.
Name in one table. That means another object.
Yes.
Another object. Okay, so any other solution that you can think of? So you are saying that we are going to store this into the one table, region details, which is a one table. And in this table, we'll have a name and a manager. And whenever I wanted to display here the data, I'll use the SOQL query. I'll use the SOQL query. Using the SOQL query, I'll be pulling the data. Using the SOQL query, I'll pull the data. So in this SOQL query, what I'll do is I'll write select whatever the name, comma, region manager name, region manager name, underscore C from, let's say, region details, underscore C. Now here I'll put a where condition, where name equal to whatever the region name that we are passing to this, it has to be mapped. Now this way I'll do the query, and based on the name selection in the customer, based on the customer selection here. So whatever the customer is selecting the region name, based on that, what I'll do is I'll query this table. I'll query this table, and then whatever the output is there, that output will be returned to the here. That output will be returned here. Now here, one problem is there. This is a standard way of implementation. This is the standard way of implementation. But there is a problem here. In the trigger, there are two problems. We are storing the name and a manager. Just to store the name and manager, I'm creating the object. Do I need a user input on the region details? Do I need a user input on the region details? Whatever we have a region details, do I need a user input on this table? Might not be, because this table is containing only just a name and manager. Why we are creating this table? This is not for the users, this is for the developers. Users input is not required. Actually, user does not require that we should show this object to the users. And second thing is that you are doing the additional SOQL query. You are doing additional SOQL query. Now, instead of doing the SOQL query and instead of implementing a object, we have another concept called custom setting. Another concept called custom settings. Custom setting does not require a SOQL query. First of all, custom settings are similar to the custom object. Custom settings are similar like a custom objects. That means whatever you are supposed to create an object here. Now you are saying that we are going to create an object here. Instead of creating an object, create a custom settings. Create a custom setting. The reason is we do not need a user to, we do not want to show the data to the user. We do not want to show the user to the data. So this is just for the developer. We need this data because developer is doing the coding. In that coding, auto displaying this information. So that is just for the developer. So what I'll do is I'll create a custom settings. I'll create a custom settings with the name called region details underscore C. And it's a custom setting. Custom settings are similar to the custom object, but it is similar to the custom object, but custom settings does not require a SOQL query. Custom setting does not require a SOQL query. In Salesforce, we have a concept called application caching. application cache. So what will happen is application cache. So what will happen here is whenever the data is sitting in the custom setting, now as soon as the user select a region name, what happens is this custom setting sits into the application cache. This custom setting sits into the application cache. It will sit into the application cache. From this application cache, we are going to display the data in the region manager name. We are going to display the data in region manager name. So how am I going to display the data in the region manager? By using the ready-made methods. By using the ready-made methods. We have a ready-made methods. So just by using the ready-made methods, we are going to display the data. So custom settings are always sits into the application cache. So whenever user is trying to perform any action, it is going to look for the application cache. From the application cache, by using the ready-made methods, we are going to display the data. Now, what are the ready-made methods that are available in the Salesforce? Those are 3 methods are available. One is get all method. These are the ready-made one. Get all method, get instance method, get instance method, get values, get values. These are the ready-made methods which are available. By using this method, I can able to get the custom setting data to the trigger. From the trigger, I'm going to display it here. Now let's see how we are going to create a custom setting. Now I'll come to that point, ready-made methods. First, let's understand how to create a custom setting. Now custom settings, let's go ahead and see how to create a custom settings. Now there are 2 types of custom settings. Whenever you are creating a custom setting, you will see there are 2 types of custom settings. Salesforce has provided 2 types of custom settings. First one is a list custom setting. Second one is a hierarchy custom setting. First one is list custom setting. Second one is hierarchy custom setting. List custom settings are nothing but data can be accessible in the entire organization. List custom settings are data can be accessible in the entire organization. Whereas hierarchy custom settings are data can be accessible based on the user and profile. Hierarchy will always goes with the user and profile. Hierarchy always goes with the profile and user. Now, like this, in the custom setting, I'll be creating, let's assume that I'm creating a list, I'm creating the hierarchy, either one. So let's go with the list because we have the data which is related to the list. Now I'm creating the list custom settings, but how many records can I create it in custom settings? How many records can I create in custom settings? Salesforce has given a storage limitation for the custom setting. So the storage limitation is organization-wide. Organization-wide, the limit is 10 MB storage, maximum of 10 MB storage. This is organization-wise. That means if I have a 1 Salesforce license, I'll get 1 MB storage. If I have a 2 licenses, then I'll get a 2 MB. If I have a 5 Salesforce license, we'll get a 5 MB. If it is a 10 Salesforce licenses, if I have, then I'll get a 10 MB. But if I have a 15 Salesforce licenses, still I get a 10 MB. That means per organization, maximum I can have a 10 MB storage. So in the developer edition, how many Salesforce licenses do we have?
2. Oh.
Sorry? How many Salesforce licenses do we have?
I guess 2.
2 Salesforce licenses we have. If it is a 2 Salesforce licenses, then it is a 2 MB storage. 2 MB storage. Now, list custom settings. Who all can access? Hierarchy custom settings. Who all can access? If I'm creating a list custom setting, I can access, that means Apex can access the list custom setting. Visual Force can access the list custom settings. Web services and APIs can access the list custom settings. If it is a hierarchy custom settings are accessed through Apex, VF, web services, APIs, and formula fields. List custom settings cannot be accessed through the hierarchy, through the formula fields. Only hierarchy custom settings can be accessed through the formula fields. Only I can access formula, in the formula field, only I can access the hierarchy custom settings, not the list custom settings. Not the list custom settings. Now, sometimes what happens is the first time when you go to the custom setting, in order to go to the custom settings, navigation steps are go to the setup, search here, custom setting. Search here, custom setting. Now, click on that custom settings. You will see there is nothing here. Now, click on a new. Click on new. When you click on a new, just observe here, setting type. Setting type is disabled. Setting type is disabled. Setting type is disabled. That means I cannot change this setting type to either list or hierarchy. Now, this is initially for any organization, it will be there. But in case if you want it, by default, Salesforce is disable this. By default, Salesforce is going to disable these setting types. But if you want to enable, go to the setup and search for a schema setting. Search for schema settings. Go to the schema settings, and you will see here manage list custom settings. Now click on this manage list custom settings. That means this is telling about the manage list custom settings. Enable list as a setting type. Enable list as a setting type option on the new custom setting definitions. That means I'm enabling, by enabling this, we are going to enable the setting type in the custom settings. Now let's click on custom settings. Let's go to the custom settings. Now click on new. Now I can see that setting type has a list and hierarchy. Setting type has list and hierarchy. So that is in order to enable the setting type, you need to go to the setup, schema settings, and then enable manage list custom settings, type security and privacy warning. And we just seen the navigation steps. So you need to go to the setup, custom settings, click on a new button, and you need to enter the label name. Let's assume that let's go ahead and create a new custom setting. Now I'm going to create a new custom setting, which is a region details, Now these are the region details, and setting type is list. Setting type is list. And then now click on a save button. Click on save button. Now, if you observe here, custom setting also has a __C. Similar like custom object. Similar like custom object. For custom object also, at the end of the object name, it has a underscore C. Similarly, for the custom settings also, you will see underscore C at the end of the object. At the end of the object. Now in the custom settings, I need to create a two fields. One is region name, another one is region manager. Now let's go ahead and create, click on a new. Now custom settings, whenever you are creating a field in custom settings, you will only see checkbox, currency, date, time, email, number, percentage, phone, text area, URL. You will not see pick list, you will not see multi-pick list, you will not see date, you will not see date time, you will not see time, you will not see rich text area, you will not see any relationship fields, you will not see any formula fields. Only available fields in the custom settings are checkbox, currency, date time, email, number, percentage, phone, text area, URL. No relationship fields, no rich text area, no time field. No time field. Now let's go ahead and create a text. Click on a new. I'm going to create a region name. Let's give it as a name. Now let's give here 10 and click on next. Now click on save. Now I have created a one field which is called as a name. One field which is called as a name. Okay, so instead of creating a name, because by default custom setting will already have a name. By default custom setting already have a name. So instead of creating a name, let me change the value field name. Now let's edit this. Not this one. Let's open the custom settings and let me edit this. Let's say that region manager name. Region manager name. Let's keep here underscore. Now let's click on save. Now I have created the region manager name. In the length, let's keep the more data. So it is a 10 digits. Let me change it to the 50. Click on save. Now I have created a one field which is called as a region manager name. Now click on a manager here, manage, click on a manage, and then click on a new. Click on new. Now this time what I'll do is I'll create the data here. Asia's is Akash. Click on save and new. And the second one is America's is Bharati. Click on save new. And I have created the Europe. I'm creating the Europe. For the Europe Jyoti. Save and new. Next one is a China. For China Madhumohan. Click on save and new. Now select a name Japan. Manager name Rajkumar. Click on save and new. and then select the middle list. Middle list is Sri Lakshmi. Save and new. Next one is Australia. And then we have a Naresh. Click on save. Now we have created all the data. Let's go back to the custom settings, open up the custom setting. Let's click on a manage. If you click on a manage, you can modify this if you want, or else create a new one. Let me create a new. Let's say that this is a region details. I wanted to show the name and region manager. Click on save. Now we have a table here. Americas, Bharati, Asia, Akash, like this. We have a data mapping is done. Like a name is mapped to the region manager name. Name is mapped to the region manager name. Now we can see here if in case tomorrow, if they are going to add a more pick list values in the here, if they are planning to add a more pick list values in this region name in the customer, what they can do is admin can come here and create a new record. If they change anything to the existing value, they can change it here. They can change it here. Now we have created a custom setting. Now we have created a custom setting. Now let's go back to the Apex. Let me open the sales Apex anonymous window. Now, as I have mentioned, there are three methods are there. There are three methods. One is a get all method. Another one is a get instance. And the next one is a get values. Get values. Get all, get instance, get values. Get values. Now these methods are in custom setting. These methods are in custom setting. That means custom setting name dot get all. Custom setting name dot get all. Now custom setting name dot get instances, custom setting name dot get values. Now, if you want to get all the records, for example, I wanted to get all the records from the custom settings. I wanted to get all the records. Now here we have a total, these many records are there. I wanted to get all the records. Whenever I wanted to get all the records, I need to use the custom setting name, the object name. The object name is, let's open the object. Now this is the API name. Now API name dot get all. That means get everything from the custom setting. Now, whenever I get everything, usually the output of this is map. Map of string, comma, region details. Region details dot get all output is always stored into the map of string, comma, region details. Now what I can do is, now I can loop through the region details, reg, let's say that we have all the data is stored here, reg details dot, I'm interested on values part, I'm interested in values. Now I'm going to print the data, system dot debug region details plus reg. Now, if I try to execute this, now it is going to give me the entire output. Now you see here, this is the details. Now, last modify is deleted, created by ID, last modified by set owner ID. Yes, name is the one, and we have a region manager. Along with that, we have a standard fields like a system admin, ID, created date, modified date, right? Created by ID, owner ID. Those all are standard fields which are there along with. So that's the reason it is giving me the entire values of the each record. So it gave me all the details. It gave me all the records. Now that is in order to get all the records, you use a get all. You use a get all predefined method. This predefined method is in the custom settings in order to get the custom settings. Now the next one is get a specific region information. Region information. Now what I'm going to do is this one only specific region information. That means here I have so many details, how many records are there. I have so many records. For example, I wanted to get a Middle East only. I wanted to get Middle East record, not all the record, only specific to the Middle East. So in that case, what I'll do is region details dot get instance of specific record, which is a Middle East. Now Middle East, let me edit this. Click on save. So Middle East dot, if you want, I need a name for the region name. I need a region manager name. Now let's get the API of that. I'm using the API name. This. I need a API name. Now this, I'm going to directly print it. So system.debug. Middle East manager name. Middle East manager name. Middle East manager name. Now I'll just execute only this part. Execute the highlighted one. Now Middle East manager name is Sri Lakshmi. This is a specific value, but I do not want a specific value. I want a specific region information. So in that case, I simply say this, get instance of Middle East. Now let me execute this. Now let's execute it. I need a specific record. The specific record. So now I got the specific record. Middle East record, I got it. For example, if you want a name of the specific region, that means I just need a name for a specific region. For example, Akash is there. Now I need only a name of this region name. I wanted to get only the manager name. I do not need any other information. In that case, either you can use the get instance dot the API name of the region manager name, or else what you can do is you can use the third method, which is called as a get values. Get values. Get values of, let's take a Asia's. Get values of Asia's, and then I'm going to use the API name of the region manager name. Region manager name. Let me execute this. Now this is the third method which I'm using it. It will give specific value. It will give specific value. Now that is the purpose of predefined. That means without doing a SOQL query, in order to get the data from custom settings, without doing a SOQL query and without hard coding anything in the code, I can create a custom setting here and I can map the fields. That means I have built the mapping table here. For this mapping table, in case if I wanted to bring the custom setting data to the Apex, we have to use a three methods which are called get all, get instance, get values. We have these three methods. So by using these three methods, either you can get the entire details or entire record, or a specific record, or a specific value. Specific value. Now, same concept I'll apply here in the trigger. In the trigger, I'll comment this entire code. Now we should not be writing like this code in the real time. Now comment that code. Now what I need is region manager name. I need region manager name. So that means this is the one. I need a specific one. I need a specific one. Now here, instead of hard coding the Asias, what I'll do is I'll say that CT dot region name. CT dot region name, and store these details into the region manager. CT dot region manager name equal to custom settings dot get values. Values of what is the key here? Key is in the customer, whatever the user is selected, that is the key. For that key, in the mapping table, in the custom setting, whatever the name is there, assign that name to the customer region manager. This is the one line of code is enough. One line of code is enough. Instead of writing this 10 lines of code, you can implement everything into the single line of code. Now, if I go back to the, let's suppose if I update Europe and click on a save, what Jyoti is updated. Now, if I update something different value, I'll say Australia, it is updated to the Naresh. Now, like this, we should not be writing the code. It has to be smart enough. Now, this is the right way to implement, because this is the problem in future whenever you are doing it. Whenever they are adding the pick list values, or if you want to change the name, or if client want to change, for example, they wanted to change the name here from Jyoti to different person. They wanted to change the region name also. Now they are not supporting this region name, and they wanted to go with a different region name. In that case, they will go for no, in that case, they will be modifying the pick list field value. Whenever they modify the pick list value in the production, it is going to break the code. It is going to break the code. So that's the reason we have to make sure that whatever the implementation we are doing it, most of our implementation should be half of the piece should be configurable and half of the piece should be coding, so that whenever tomorrow any changes happens, You need not to touch a code. Directly the customer can come, client can come here and client can update here. Or else admin team or a development can update here. This is not used by the users. Users cannot use the custom setting. Users cannot use the custom settings. Any questions here?
Ma'am, so basically if there are multiple conditions like this, so then only we'll be using this custom settings, right?
Wherever you
actually,
see that hard-coded value is there, or
Okay.
wherever you see that mapping table is there. So whenever you see the mapping table is there, in those scenarios, we will use the custom settings. That means the data, lot of data, mapping data is there. In that case, you will use the custom setting.
Okay.
Now, one of the question in the interview, they will ask is, who all can see the custom settings? Who all can see the custom settings? Now, if you are creating the custom setting, then let me go back to the, whenever you are creating the custom setting, there is a one option is there, visible to the public or a protected. Public or protected. Protected is nothing but only admin should be able to see. That means only the user, the user, whoever is there, only that person, whoever is created, only that person should be able to see. The other persons cannot be able to see. If it is a public, everybody in the, all the users in the organization can see. And yeah, so that is the visibility option. That is the visibility option. And another interview question they will ask is, what is the differences between the custom settings and custom objects? What is the differences between the custom settings and custom object? Custom settings and custom objects are, let's see the differences. The first one is in the custom object, all the custom field types supported. All the custom fields types are supported, whereas custom setting, we do not have a relationship, we do not have a pick list, we do not have a multi-pick list, we do not have a long, rich text fields are not available. That is the first difference between the custom object and custom setting. And the second one is records are updated by user in the custom object. Whereas custom settings, records are updated by admin or a developers. And the third one is custom object stored in the database. Custom object data is stored in the database, in Salesforce database. Whereas custom setting, it's stored in the cache in memory. So we have there is a application cache is available, right? This is the cache. So custom settings are always stored in the cache in memory. That is, if it is a developer edition, we have a maximum of 2 GB. But if it is unlimited, then 10 MB, maximum of 10 MB. Now, custom object is require a lookup or a master detail relationship to reference from the another object. Now, in case if you want to link or a reference any fields, then you will be implementing the relationship between the two objects in the custom settings. Whereas in the custom object, whereas in the custom setting, no relationship field is required. There is no relationship field. Nothing is there. So these are the 4 differences between the custom object and custom setting. Right? Any questions till this point? Now let's move on. Lead conversion process. Lead conversion process. Now lead conversion process, we have seen during the admin, what is the lead conversion process. Now let's go to the Salesforce. Now let me open the lead here. Now here, let's take this details. Now this is the lead. This is the lead. Now lead is nothing but what? Lead is nothing but a person, could be a person, could be an organization, could be a business. Now, how do we get a leads? We can get it from campaign, right? So once we get the leads from the campaign, that means the person is showing an interest on the product or could be a service. The person or organization or a business is showing the interest on product or service. Now we receive a leads from the campaign. Campaign is nothing but direct campaign or indirect campaign. Could be a direct or could be a indirect. Now through the campaign, we are getting the leads. So basically the process is, now we have a marketing team. That marketing team is going to do the lot of marketing and campaign, like a trade-in shows, webinars, conference call, right? Discussing with the different people. Like this, they will do the campaign. Through the campaign, we will receive the leads. From output of the campaign is we receive a leads. Once the leads are assigned, once the leads are created in Salesforce, what we will do is we will assign those leads to the sales team. There is a team who is sitting there to monitor all the leads. Now what they will do is, this team, as soon as they receive a leads list, they will contact the person, that particular lead person, they will contact it and they will try to convince the person to buy the product or to go for a service, to buy the product or to go for a service. Now they will keep on calling the leads and they will say that they will convince it, they will give more features about, they will explain a lot of information about the product and try to convince the lead. Try to convince the lead. Now let's assume that lead is convinced. Lead is convinced. When the lead is convinced, that means they are going to buy a product. They are ready to buy a product. Once they are ready to buy a product, that means they are going to convert. Once they are ready to buy a product, that means we are going to convert the lead to the three different records. One is the account, contact, and opportunity. We are going to convert the lead to the account, contact, and opportunity. Account, contact, and opportunity. Now, this is the process that we know. This is the process that we know. Now, whenever we convert account, contact, opportunity, what happens exactly? What happens exactly? Now, let's go ahead and open the lead. Let's see that. Now, this is the lead. Now, we have a different information here. We have a different information. Similarly, we have a product interest. Product interest. This product interest is a custom field, but it is provided by the Salesforce. So GC 1000 series, GC 500, 5000 series, GC 3000 series. Now let me show you that. Go to the object manager, search for a lead. When you search for a lead, click on the lead. Now here, go to the fields and relationship. Now we have a product interest. So product interest it's a custom field, but it is provided by Salesforce. We have not created it. We have not created it. It is provided by Salesforce, but if we want to change anything, we can change it. For example, I wanted to add a new product information. Now, like a desktop, laptop. These are my laptops, desktops, right? Mobile, tab, printer, or scanner, or projector, and webcam. So these are different products that I wanted to sell. These are the different products that I wanted to sell. Now, when we are selling, assume that lead is created. This is the lead is created and they are interested on desktop. They are buying the desktop product. They are ready to buy a desktop product. Now, if you go to the detail section, go to the product information. In the product information, you can see all these details. Now, you are seeing the old information also. In case if you do not want all details like a GC1000 series, GC5000 series, GC3000 series, if you do not want these picklist field values, so what you can do is you can delete those. The one which you know that it's not required anymore, click on a delete. So once you click on a delete, it just gives a warning message. Are you sure you wanted to delete? Then it is redirecting to that. You are deleting the existing GC1000 series. But there is a possibility that there might be a records who are containing that product. So whoever the records are containing the GC1000, do you want to replace with anything? I'll say that replace with the desktop. Replace with desktop. Now same thing, I'm deleting the GC5000 series. It will ask replace the value, replace the GC5000 series value with, let's say that I wanted to go for a laptops. So I'll use the laptops. Similarly, the third one, delete. When you deactivate it, it will not ask, but when you delete it, it will ask. When you delete, it asks. Now I wanted to go for a desktop. Now let me refresh. Now let's go here, detail section. Now we can see the product information in the product information. Now I do not see those information. So I'll select a product desktop. Lead status is, we know that open not contacted is the one which is created right now. Working on contacted is nothing, but I have started, sales team is started working on this lead. Assume that I'm part of a sales team. So what I'll do, I'll call this lead. I'll call this lead and I'll try to convince that lead to buy a product. So in that case, what I can keep is I'm working on this particular lead. I'm working on this particular lead. Now, in order to convert, either we can click on this converted and select a converted status, or else you can click on a converted. Now we have an option that it is creating the account contact opportunity. These are the different options it is giving. If I click on a convert, what will happen? It will convert to the account. It will convert to the account. Validation error, contact lead source, contact record is mandatory. Okay. Now let's copy this lead source. Let's click on convert. Click on a convert. Now it is converted. As soon as it is converted, the record I cannot see anymore in the lead. The record I cannot see anymore in the lead. Does that mean the lead is deleted in the Salesforce or is it there? Does that mean whether the lead is deleted completely from the Salesforce or is it exist? Now I know that here user cannot see the lead, but if I go to the account contact, I can see that lead recursor contact or opportunity, it is created. It is created the IBM, and then it is created this contact, which I know that. But that means lead is completely deleted. Now, how can I know that how many leads are converted in last 2 days? Do I have a track of conversion leads? Do I have a track of conversion leads? That means whenever I'm converting the lead, now we have a source and target. Like we have in the lead record details, we have assume that in the lead record details, I have a first name. First name, whenever I click on a convert, first name will be converted to the contact first name. Last name will be converted to the contact last name. Title is converted to the contact title. Phone number is converted to the contact phone and account phone. Mobile is converted to the contact mobile. Fax is converted to the contact fax and account fax. Email is converted to the contact email. Industry is converted to the account industry. Rating is converted to the account rating. And the lead annual revenue is converted to the account revenue, annual revenue. Lead city is converted into the account billing city, contact billing city. Lead street is converted to account billing street, contact mailing street. Lead state is converted to the contact billing, contact mailing state and account billing state. Lead postal code is converted to the contact mailing postal code and account billing postal code. And lead country is converted to the account country and the contact country. Lead company is converted to the account name and the opportunity name. So this is how, whenever it is converted at the back end, this is how the mapping is going to happen. Salesforce is doing this kind of a map. Salesforce is doing this kind of a mapping. That means they are mapping the each field. Whenever I click on here, convert, whenever I click on a convert, what is happening back end? Salesforce is doing this kind of a mapping. Salesforce is doing this kind of a mapping. They are doing this kind of a mapping. Right? So that's the reason we see that all the data is converted. But now how do I know how many leads are converted? How do I know that how many leads are converted? How many leads are converted? And similarly, how do I know that account is created by the converted lead? By the converted lead. How do I know that? How do I know that? Similarly, contact also. Contact is created by converted lead. How do I know that? Same thing. Opportunity. How do I know that opportunity is created by the after converting the lead, then only the opportunity is created. Now I wanted to know opportunity is created manually or the opportunity is created or is it a converted from the lead? Right? How do I know that? For this kind of a, in order to know this, we have to go to the developer console, and there is a concept is called as a field is called, hidden field is called is converted. There is a hidden field is there, is converted. Hidden field is converted on the lead object. Whenever the lead dot is converted equal to true, that means that is a converted lead. Lead dot is converted equal to false, that means it is not converted. That means these leads are, whatever the false is there, those are not unconverted lead. Maybe manually it is created and closed it, right? It is not yet converted. Now, similarly, for the account, if you wanted to know how this account is created, whether it is created from the converted lead or not, in order to know that, we have a converted account ID. This is on the lead object. This is also hidden field. This is also hidden field. Converted account ID. So lead is going to tell you that converted account ID details. So contains the account record ID that has been generated due to the lead conversion. Similarly, we have a converted contact ID. So converted contact ID is the hidden field on the lead object. This means contains the contact record ID that has been generated due to the lead conversion. Similarly, we have another hidden field which is called as a converted opportunity ID on the lead object, which is nothing but it contains the opportunity record ID that has been generated due to the lead conversion. Now let's go ahead and see that. Let's go to the developer console. Now here I'll see that query editor, select ID, comma, first name, comma, last name, comma, email, comma, status, comma. I'm going to use is converted, and I'll use the converted account ID, account ID, comma. Also, I'll use the converted contact ID, comma, converted opportunity ID from lead. Let me take one lead here. So let's take the lead. So let's take this Radha Krishna details. No. I'll use this lead. So ID is this one. Now, right now, I have not yet converted. So let's see the values there. ID equal to 18-digit ID. Click on execute. When I click on execute, what is happening? Is converted. Click on execute. Now, if you observe here, is converted is a false. There is no converted account ID. There is no converted contact ID. There is no converted opportunity ID. Now, what I'll do is I'll go to this one. I'll say that converted and click on a select converted. Then I'm going to convert this. Okay, cancel. Now I'll say this lead source web, click on a save. Now let's click on a convert, select a converted status, and I'm going to convert it. Once it is converted, go to the leads. Now if I refresh this grid, Now what has happened is converted is true. That means it is converted. What is the account it is created? This is the account is created. This is the contact. This is the opportunity. These are the hidden fields which we cannot see on the here, So lead is not deleted. From the system. Lead is still exists, but only thing is that user cannot see here. The client cannot see the record. Right? So similarly, if you observe here, now whenever I'm trying to convert this, click on convert, it is giving me the validation messages. It is giving me the validation error on the contact. That means whatever the validation rules are there. Now there is a validation rule on the contact, which is expecting the lead source, Now, whenever it is, that means whenever I'm converting it, while converting, if there is any validation rules are there on the contact or account or opportunity, definitely those validation rules are going to hit here. Definitely the validation rules are going to hit here. Now, whenever I see here account, it is whenever I click on a convert, it is saying that there is a validation error on the contact. Lead source on the contact record should be mandatory, because lead source are, whenever I click on a convert, lead source will be converted as a contact lead source. Lead source is converted as a contact lead source. Now here in the lead source is empty. So while converting it, contact lead source is also empty. Now that's the reason it is throwing in error. Now in case if you do not want the validation rule to be thrown, that means you wanted to bypass the validation rule during the conversion, because it is so difficult for the client whenever they click on a here the convert, and for few records it is keep on showing this error. They cannot go back to the object manager and click on a contact here. They cannot contact here and then deactivate the validation rule. One way is deactivating the validation rule. No, I cannot deactivate the validation rule every time. Like I deactivate it, convert it, and then activate it. Again, after few records, again it is getting the error. Now deactivate it again and again convert and then activate it again. So it is a repeated steps which we do not want. Now every record, if you are getting this error, for every record you need to switch off or deactivate the validation rule and then activate it. Like in a day, you might be doing the activation, deactivation so many times. Instead of that, let's bypass the validation rule. Let's bypass the validation rule. Bypass the validation rule is nothing but ignore the validation rule. Ignore the validation rule. In order to ignore the validation rule, go to the setup and search here lead settings. Search here lead settings. So we have something called lead settings. Go to that lead settings. Here in the lead setting, you will see one option is called require validation for converted leads. Require validations for converted leads. Require validations for converted leads. Now what you can do is you can deactivate that. Now click on edit. Deactivate this require validation for converted leads and then click on a save. And then click on a save. Now I have deactivated the validation rule. Now what I'll do is I'll click on convert here. As soon as the validation is deactivated, this option is deactivated here. I did not deactivate the validation rule. I just deactivated the lead setting. So as soon as I deactivate that, now I'm able to convert the lead. Now, in order to bypass the validation rule for the lead conversion, you need to disable the require validation per convert lead. You need to disable the require validation per converted lead. Now, for example, few more scenarios. Let's assume that now we know that how we are converting, like we have each field, how it is connected, how it is mapped at the back end. Now, these are the standard fields. These are the standard fields. You know, these standard fields can be connected to the standard field in the account or a contact or a opportunity, right? Let's assume that on the lead, I have a custom field. I have a custom field. Let's assume that I have a PAN number. I have a PAN number and also passport number. Also passport number. Now, when I convert the lead, how can I convert the custom field? How can I convert the custom field? How can I convert when I'm doing the lead conversion? When I'm doing the lead conversion, this field, where it will go? Where it will go? Once the lead is converted, if I have a custom field, where these fields will go? Now let's assume, let's go to the lead. Now let me open the lead. In the lead, do I have any custom fields? Let's go to the detail section. seems like we do not have. Let's go to the object manager and search for a lead here. And click on a lead. Let me create a two fields. So one is a PAN number. It's just a text field. Let me choose the text here. Click on a next. And I'll give the PAN number. And let's assume that this is a 20. Let's give the 10. And click on a next. Click on a next and save. Let's create another field, which is a passport number, which is a passport number that is also text. That is also text. Select the text and click on here passport number. Passport number. Let's give it here the 20 and click on next. Now keep as it is and click on save. Now I have a two fields. Let me refresh. PAN number and a passport number. PAN number and passport number. Now let's assume that I wanted to convert this lead. I wanted to convert this lead. We have a two fields. Now I'm giving you some number here. Right. Now similarly, I'm giving you some passport number. Now click on save. Now I'll do the lead convert. As soon as the lead is converted, now where those field values will go away. Where these two fields, whatever the two fields are there, where it will go away. If I open the account, Salesforce one, I cannot see those fields here. Do I have that fields here? PAN number, passport number, I do not have. I do not have here. And similarly on the contact, I do not have the passport number or PAN number. Nothing is there. It's not converted. Those fields are not converted. And what do I want is here, I'll do one thing. Now I have a two fields on the lead. And what I'll do is PAN number. I wanted to move it to the account. That means I'll be creating another field, an account, which is a PAN number, and the passport, I'll be moving to the contact. Now let me create it on the account level. Let's go on the object, click on an account. Let's create a field, which is a PAN number. I'm creating the text field. Click on next. Now this is the PAN number. 10. Click on next. And click on next. And then click on save. Now let's go to the object manager. Now I wanted to go for a contact. In the contact, I'll be creating the passport number. Click on a field and click on the new field. Now here is the text. Select the text, click on a next button. Now I'll say here passport number. Now I'll use the 20 and click on a next. Click on next, click on save. Now I have a two fields. Now I have a one field on the contact, one field on the account. PAN number is on the account, passport number is on the contact. Now again, I'll do the convert. Let me take the new here. So let's take a trigger validation rule. Now let's click on a detail section. Now I'll enter some PAN number here, AWL. Now I'll use another passport number. Click on save. Now I'll again do the convert. When I do the convert, click on a convert. As soon as I click on a convert, let's convert this. Now we have a IBM, we have a trigger validation rule. and the opportunity is IBM. Now let's go to the contact trigger validation rule. In the contact, what is it? Trigger validation rule. Let me search here trigger. Now let me open the trigger validation rule. Click on a detail section. Now I have a passport number. Did passport number is copied? No, it did not copied. Now let me go to the account. In the account detail section. Now did PAN number copied here? It's not copied. It's not copied. Now, how can Salesforce do? Now, I know the Salesforce is already doing the standard one. But if I have a custom fields, is there a way that can I map the lead custom fields to the account custom fields or a contact custom fields? Yes, there is a way to do that. If you go to the lead, in the lead, you have a something called go to the fields and relationship. There is a one button which is available here is a map lead fields. Map lead fields. Just click on this map lead fields. Now here, when you click on a map lead fields, it is going to show you the account contact opportunity. Account contact opportunity. Now it is going to tell that which lead field do you want to map it to account field. Now here I have a PAN number. Now I wanted to map it to the PAN number. Similarly, I'll go to the contact. Now here I have a passport. On the contact level, custom field, passport number. Now this option is available only for custom field. You cannot map the standard field. You cannot change it. So here, whatever you are seeing it only for the custom field. For the standard field, you cannot do it. Standard field is already mapped internally by the Salesforce. If you are creating any custom field, in that case, if you want to map the custom field of the lead to the custom field of the contact, custom field of the account, then you can do the setup here. Now this setup is done, click on it, save. Now we are done with the setup. Let's go to the lead. Now let me click on the validation. Now let's go to the detail section. In the detail section, let me enter the PAN number. And then passport number. Click on save. Now I have a PAN number and passport number. What I'll do is I'll click on a convert. Now click on a convert. Now we have a validation. Now let's go to the contact detail section. Now here, passport number. Yes, passport number is copied. Now let's go to the account detail section. PAN number is copied. Now this is how we do the setup. This is how we do the setup in lead mapping for the custom fields. Lead mapping for the custom fields. Any questions on this? Okay. Now, what did we learn so far?
Custom settings.
Custom settings, navigation steps to create a custom settings.
Methods in custom settings.
Right, methods in the custom settings.
Lead conversion.
Lead conversion and the differences between the custom setting and custom object. Lead conversion process. Now that's all. Let me give you the homework. created two fields. On lead country, let's say that lead country is one field, lead currency is another field. Lead currency is another field. Now, based on the country, you can give any country here. Like country is a pick list. This is a pick list. So you can give US, UK, India, UAE, right? So if you want, you can give more. Now here currency is, if it is a India, the currency has to be displayed like rupees. If it is a UAE, then it should be displayed as a dirham. If it is a US, then it should display dollar. If it is a UK, I think it is pound. So it pounds. Right, so these are the based on the country, the currency has to be implemented. So implemented trigger on lead object to auto display lead currency based on selection of based on the lead country value, based on the lead country value. Now this is one, and the second one is implement custom fields. Anyway, on top we have currency and country, right? So while converting a lead, above custom fields. That means what are those? Lead country and lead currency. Lead currency has to be copied to opportunity custom field. That means lead country should be opportunity country, lead currency should be opportunity currency. So these are the two homework. And apart from that, we have a trial head links. Let me paste the trial head links. Okay, these are the trial head links. So that's all for today.